சிறப்புரையாற்ற மனமகிழ்வுடன் அழைக்கிறோம். May we request His Excellency the Governor to deliver his presidential address. Please, sir.
Touching the world. Global reach. Imagine you could connect to that world with a single interface. Bringing together the future of innovation.
Please watch Tamil Lucky Guru.
Please watch Tamil Lucky Guru.
Please watch Tamil Lucky Guru. Hello. Please watch Tamil.
மேதகு தமிழக ஆளுநர் வி.என். ரவி அவர்களுடைய அற்புதமான தமிழ் பேச்சு தொடர்ந்து பாருங்கள். தமிழ் லக்கி குருவின் சிறந்த காணொளி.
மேடையுள்ள பெருமதிக்குரிய தளத்தில் சாந்தலிங்க ಮರುದಾಸರ ಅಡಿಕಲರ್ ಅವತಿರು ರಾಮಾನಂದ ಕುಮಾರ ಗುರುಬರ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳ ಅವತಿರು ಸಾಧು ಸನ್ಮುಗ ಅಡಿಕಲರ್ ತಿರು ಜೆ ಚಿನ್ನಮಲೈ ಕೃಷ್ಣಕುಮಾರ್ அவர்களே, திரு கே. அண்ணாமலை அவர்களே, திரு ராஜா பி. அறுமுகம் அவர்களே, தீரன் சின்மலையின் வாரிசுதாரர்களே அவர்களே, இங்கே கூட்டி இருக்கும் மரியாதைக்குரியவர்களே, உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். நான் இவ்விழாவில் பங்கேற்பதில் மிக மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறேன். ஏனெனில் இவ்விழா நமது ஒரு சிறந்த சுதந்திர போராட்ட வீரர் திரு தீரன் சின்னமலை அவர்களுடைய இந்தியாவின் சுதந்திரக்காக தீரன் சின்னமலை தனது உயிரை தியாகம் செய்தார். நமது நாட்டின் விடுதலைக்காக தனது வாழவும் மற்றும் இரத்தம் சிந்தியவர்களுக்கு நாம் மறக்கக்கூடாது. நாட்டிற்காக தியாகம் செய்தவர்களுக்கும் நாம் மறக்கக்கூடாது. தீரன் சின்னமலை அவர்களுக்கு நன்றியாக நாம் ஒரு சிறந்த பாரத்தை உருவாக்க வேண்டும். நண்பர்களே, தமிழ் ஒரு பழமையான மொழி, மிகவும் பழமையான மொழி, ஒரு அழகான மொழி, ஒரு சக்திசாலி மொழி. தமிழ் மக்கள் போலே தமிழ் பேச வேண்டும் என்பது எனது விருப்பமாகும். நான் உறுதியாக நம்புகிறேன், ஒரு நாள் நான் உங்கள் போல தமிழ் பேசுகிறேன். ஆனால் இன்றும் நான் ஆங்கிலத்தில் பேசுவேன். Friends, I am very happy to be in this beautiful, sacred Congo land and in the midst of its finest people. This land has a very rich history of prosperity, economic prosperity, cultural prosperity. This land has a history of producing great warriors. We know that in ancient times there are historical records that this land had trade with Roman Empire. It was a very, very prosperous, rich land. This land has produced great kings, great warriors from Cheras, Cholas, Pandyas. And to be here, to be on this land is a matter of pride for me. My happiness gets further multiplied many times because I'm here to pay tribute to one of the greatest son of India, one of the greatest freedom fighter of India, Thiru Dhiran Chinnamalai. I feel humbled when I think of this great man and his great sacrifices. What a great leader he was. And here I feel the greatness of this land which can produce such great leaders. It is often said that, I am told that there is a saying here, and rightly so, that Kongu Shadital, Hengum Sadiko. If Kongu is prosperous, everyone prospers. Rightly so. This land can produce a warrior like, a leader like Thiru Dhiran Chinnamalai. People have spoken about him, people know about him. We know that how the British tried to erase his history. The British tried to ensure that no one talks about him. But we know that the greatest history is one which is written in the hearts and minds of the people. And Dhiran Chinnamalai, his history is written in the hearts and minds of the people of this place. Through generations, they have carried the story, they carried through the folk songs, the greatness and great achievement of this great man. And today, the whole country, the whole India, acknowledges this greatness of this man. And that is how in the 2015, Government of India issued, in commemoration of this great man, a stamp, commemorative stamp. Thiru Dhiran Chinnamalai, he came from the masses. Now, he lived and fought for the freedom and prosperity of the people of this land. We know how. When the Hyder Ali was exploiting this land, how he saved the people. We know how when the British tried to occupy this land, how he fought the British and defeated them one after another in all the battles. And here, I wonder what kind of a strategic mind, what kind of tactical mind this great person had. Look at the asymmetry of the war. On the one hand was the British. Well-organized army, well-equipped military, guns, gunpowders, and whatnot. And here, Tirudhiran Chinnamalai. He organized the youth, creates a militia equipped with local indigenous weapons, and he fights. And he fights the British and defeats them every time. Look at the charisma, the magnetism of this person, on whose call thousands of youth of this land came forward to sacrifice their life. Look at the leadership of this great man. I think he should be a textbook case for a study in leadership. How a person coming from the masses with no great legacy, he rises up because of his conviction, because of his courage, because of his determination, and because of his strategic mind. He mobilizes the youth and adopts a method of warfare in which is such an asymmetric war, too unequal, huge, large British military, well equipped, and a small militia. And yet he defeats. He mastered the craft, the art and craft of guerrilla warfare. So his also is a case of textbook study in military warfare. How? You can fight and win a war even if you do not have a large military, even if you don't have a large weaponry, and yet you can defeat your adversary. In fact, many a times I believe that we are not yet fully appreciated the greatness, the versatility of this great man, the great leader and the great warrior. But for the treachery, I think, by one of his own, one of our own, British would not have succeeded in coming over and taking this land. Tirudhiran Chinnamalai was not just a great warrior or a great leader in the sense that he mobilized the people, but he was also a great visionary. He knew that military strength and economic prosperity is not enough. He mentored, he patronized the intellectual growth. He encouraged the people, scholars. He anointed poets, scholars, and we all know how Kavi was made the official poet of this land. So he also laid equal stress on intellectual growth and development of the people. So a great leader, a great warrior, and a great mentor of, a patron of a scholarship, intellectual growth. And that's not all. In the true tradition of the kings of this place, the Bharat in fact, right from Chera, Chola, Pandya, Tirudhiran Chinnamalai was a great protector and a patron of Dharma. We know how Chera Rajas, Chola Rajas, Pandya Rajas, during their reign, during their kingship, Dharma prospered. They built big temples which are the proud heritage of this country. Their magnificence in architecture, the grandeur, the size, and the beauty, the intricacies are unparalleled. No architecture in the world, including the Greek one, can come anywhere close to those magnificent temples. They were the great patrons of Dharma, Dharma which originated at this place, and the light has spread throughout Bharat, about which Guru Annamalai mentioned about it. Tirudhiran Chinnamalai, in that great tradition, he was also a great patron of this Dharma. He built, he patronized Kuladaiva, a series of Kuladevata, because the soul of Bharat, the soul of this country lives in this Dharma. In the most ancient times I'm talking about, this land was esteemed, fully esteemed in Dharma. We know that Tamil is the most ancient language, living language in the world. We also know that Tamil grammar, Tolkappiyam, is the most ancient grammar in the world. Tolkappiyar, the author, the writer, the great Tolkappiyar who wrote this Tolkappiyam, after writing his book, completing this work, he goes and presents it in the Pandian Darbar. He goes and presents in the Pandian Darbar to the assembly of scholars headed by Atankot Asha. And he writes in the preface, Sirap Airam, preface of Tolkappiyam, he writes, who was this Atankot Asha? He says, Aram Karai Navin, Nan Marai Mutriye Atankot Asa. Atankot Ashan was Aram Karai Navin, Nan Marai Mutriye, a profound scholar of four Vedas and who spoke only on Dharma. This book was presented to him. Tolkappiyar presented this book to Atankot Ashan, who was profound scholar of four Vedas and who talked only of Dharma. This is in our ancient literature, Tamil literature. Unfortunately, over the period, there have been distortions. People have been made to believe that something otherwise. Attempts have been made to distort the history. But truth ultimately prevails. We all know Satyameva Jayate. Eventually truth prevails. And the truth is written in all the ancient texts. You go to Silpadikaram, you find all along the stories of this Dharma and the whole of Bharat. Right from Himalayas to Gangas to Ujjaini to Mathura to Madurai. All these are all documented in our ancient precious text. These are indestructible. Like Sanatana Dharma, these texts are indestructible. And they are here telling us loud and clear who we are and how we have grown. So, when Tirudhiran Chinnamalai, he patronized this Kuladevata, he was protecting the soul of Bharat, because the soul of Bharat is this. And what is the essence of Sanatan Kalacharam, Sanatan Dharma? Is universal brotherhood. It says the Vedic truth is that the universal, the one supreme God, He lives in all of us, and we are all may look different, but it is the same God who is expressing, manifesting Himself in different ways. So we are all Sahodara, Sahodari. That is the essence of this dharma. Any amount of lie cannot undo it. It is there, and I am thankful to this Adhinam Swamigal, who are preserving, who are propagating, who are keeping it alive for the benefit of our people. When today India takes the leadership of the world, it takes the leadership with the spiritual conviction, which is our Sanatana Dharma, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is our family. Today, friends, we are celebrating 75 years of our independence. And on this occasion, we remember all our great heroes, all the great freedom fighters, those who suffered, they gave their life and blood for independence of this country. We are now entering what is called the Amrit Kaal of our independence, the next 25 years. The next 25 years means by 2047, when India would be completing 100 years of independence, where the India should be. Where the India should be in 2047, we have to move, we have to work together to take India where we want India to be. And the country has made up its mind that this Bharat has to be the leader of the world by 2047. And this leader of the world is for the good of humanity. It is not just good of Bharat and people of Bharat. Because today we all know how the world is facing all kinds of crises, all kinds of conflicts, small wars, big wars, terrorism, small scale, large scale. People are destroying. This world today has, many countries in the world today have so much weapon of mass destruction that each one of them, they can destroy this world many, many times. So we are living in a very highly vulnerable world. At this point of time, the world is looking at India with expectation to provide the leadership, because India is the only country that has not gone for any war. India is the only country which has gone to help the people, needy people all over the world, wherever the need arose. And the latest example is pandemic, when we had this global pandemic, COVID-19. When COVID-19 struck the whole world, nobody was unaffected. Everyone, right from the child in the lap, mother's lap, to the old man at the evening of life, everyone was affected. We lost many of our dear ones. During this time, when the rich and advanced countries, when they developed vaccine, they started practicing what they called vaccine nationalism. They wanted to make maximum profit out of those vaccines. It was India and India alone that not only produced large number of vaccines thanks to our scientists, thanks to our technicians, thanks to our laboratory assistants. They did incredible when they invented a vaccine competing with the best in the world, and we gave this vaccine free of cost to people of the more than 150 countries in the world. More than 150 countries in the world we distributed this vaccine. This is Bharat, this is India. This is the spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And this spirit, this is not a political slogan, this is not a diplomatic statement, but this is in our sanskar. This is in us. This is in us which is given to us by our ancestors for thousands of years through this Sanatana Adhyatma and Sanatana Dharma, that you treat others as your own. So today, when India is entering the Amrit Kal of 25 years of independence, leading towards be the world leader by 2047, in all ways, we have to build the India of the dream of Dhiran Chinnamalai. Dhiran Chinnamalai wanted a prosperous land, economically prosperous land, for which he fought. We have to make Bharat an economically prosperous country. Dhiran Chinnamalai wanted this land to be a strong land, militarily a strong land. We have to make India a militarily strong land. Dhiran Chinnamalai wanted this land to be intellectually ahead in a scholarship. We have to build this country, India, intellectually ahead of the rest. And Dhiran Chinnamalai protected the Dharma, the soul of this land and the soul of Bharat, which tells about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We have to, this India has to evolve spiritually by protecting, by propagating this Sanatana Adhyatma, Sanatana Dharma. We have to build this country in the dream of Dhiran Chinnamalai. And that is how we will reach where we are destined to reach, which is our destiny. For a very, very long time, this country has suffered. This country has suffered for centuries by invaders and colonizers. We have been reduced to poverty, we have been reduced to lamentable weakness. No more. The country is moving with confidence, moving with determination, and moving with the trust in our country, men and women. This country will be built not by government. This country will not be built by government of India or government of states. This country will be built by the people of India, by the youth of India. This country, when 2014, this country, when we had too many restrictions, too many controls, government was everything. And we had suffocated and choked the creativity of our people. This country had hardly 400 startups. We were nowhere in the reckoning in the world. Today, by removing the obstacles, removing the chains, and creating a conducive atmosphere for our people, for our young men and women, the country has more than 75,000 startups. Imagine, from less than 400 to more than 75,000 startups. Today our young men and women are innovating new things, new technology, new applications in the space, in the ocean, in all aspects of life. And of this more than 75,000, more than 100 of them are unicorn. And unicorn is a startup which is worth more than 8,000 crores. Now this is the strength of our people. This is the strength of our young men and women. So this country will be built by the people of this country, by the young men and women of this country. And they will build it, we have no doubt about it. We have been setting targets and incredible targets, and we have been achieving those targets well ahead of the time. This is new India. You know, till some years back, all over the world, economists used to write off India. And India is just a large population. India will not be an economic power. It will not prosper. This was what everybody used to say. It is recorded. Economists in the world, and our economists of India as well, when our country was not growing, they used to say, India will not grow, it will only grow at the Hindu rate of growth. They use the term Hindu rate of growth. 2%, 3%, 4%, this is how it will grow. It will not grow. Now today, India is among the top 3 fastest growing economy in the world. It is China, US and India. Europe, Japan, all countries are behind. Ours is the fastest growing economy. We have to make it. Today we are among the 3. It has to be the number 1. And it will be. And it will be number 1 by our people, by our young men and women. So with this confidence, this country is rising. This country is rising with the confidence, the self-confidence that it will attain what it has to attain. It has a destiny to achieve, to make India the world leader, with a sense that whole of India is one kudumbam, one family. There is no, people can have different languages, different dress, different cuisine, but we are all members of one family. And that is how the whole emphasis on inclusive growth. Inclusive growth, take everyone, no one is left behind. You know, after independence, after the British left, we were very poor. We hardly any medical facilities. We didn't have many higher learning institutions. Well, efforts were made, several institutions were built. But even after more than 6.5 decades, India remained home to the largest number of sick, largest number of poor, and largest number of illiterate, largest number of homeless people in the world. It was because we did not treat this country as kudumbam, and we left it to all the different states to do as you wish. And the result was imbalance. A lot of regional imbalances and even sub-regional imbalances. While we were trying to remove poverty, number of poor peoples were increasing. While we tried to build schools and colleges, number of illiterates kept growing. While we kept building, taking transports to different areas, building roads, still they remained, large number of our territory remained unreachable without road. Electricity, every 5-year plan we made that, okay, we will take electricity to so many houses, so many areas, still we had the large number of villages unelectrified. Large number of homeless people. Today, under various schemes, there is no distinction between people from Tamil Nadu or people from Tripura. All the poor are getting the advantage of Ayushman Bharat and other related medical schemes for the health and wellness. As far as poverty, there is no discrimination among the people, poor people of any part of the country. For hospitals, hospitals are being built all over the country. Primary health centers are being converted into health and wellness center. We have got more than 150,000 health and wellness centers, all being brought within the reach of the people, without any distinction, without any discrimination. Because in a family, in a large family, howsoever large it may be, and howsoever there may be difference in the capability of different members, you cannot be discriminatory to your family member. You have to take care of every member of your family. So with this outlook, with this vision of Bharat, that it is a kutumbam, this country is moving forward. Its young men and women are taking this country forward. Today, the world, within a short time, we have seen, world, nobody looks at India as calls it a third world country. Till recently, everyone used to India is a third world country. Does anyone say today? No one. In fact, on the contrary, even in Russia-Ukraine war, everyone has started looking to India, you do something. Because they had a belief that India can do something. India had the capacity to do it. And we demonstrated that capacity when we had large number of our youth, large number of our people trapped in Ukraine. And several thousand of our boys and girls from Tamil Nadu also were trapped. We asked them, both Russia and Ukraine, stop the war, give us the window, we will have to evacuate our people. Both the countries, warring countries, listen to India, stop the war, and move our people safely without any harm. Now this is New India. And this New India has to grow further and has to provide the leadership of the world. And in this, as I said, this India, which will be developed on the fourfold development, economic prosperity, military strength, intellectual leadership, and a spiritual resurgence. On all these fronts, this country has to grow, and only then it will be a holistically grown India, deserving to be the leader of the world. And it will be done by our people, I have no doubt about it. Let us not have any doubt about it, we will do it. Friends, I am truly thankful to COSAC and Dhiran Chinnamalai Alliance people for inviting me to this occasion. When they came and asked me to come on an occasion, I was pretty excited. I said I must. And I came, I must extend my thanks to them for giving me this opportunity. And I also thank you very much for being a patient listener. We all together, we have to build this country. Thank you very much. Nandri, Bharat.
Tamil, 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 Tamil Lucky Guru. Tamil, 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 Tamil Lucky Guru.
தாயே முதல் தமிழே தரணியின் முதல் மொழியே தாயே முதல் தமிழே தரணியின் முதல் மொழியே ஆதி தமிழன் நடந்த தடங்களை ஜோதி தமிழில் அடையாளம் கண்டு உயிர்மையில் வழி எனும் எழுத்து மொழி ஆசானை கேட்கும் சொதி வெளி வழி உங்கள் உலகுக்கு உரு தந்த தமிழ் எங்கள் தாய்க்கு கரு தந்த தமிழ் தங்கள் வாழ்வுக்கு திரு தந்த தமிழ் உலகில் உள்ள அத்தனை பேரை மகிழ்விக்க வரும் தமிழ் எங்கள் தமிழ் மொழி எங்கள் தமிழ் வழி எங்கள் தமிழ் வழி தமிழ் 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 Lucky Guru. Tamil, 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 Tamil Lucky Guru. Tamil, 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 Tamil Lucky Guru.